Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
You're muted, Ron.
You'd think I'd get it right, eh? After 4 years. Anyway, are you in the news? Are you ready for a new phone? Well, the Apple 16e is one you might want to consider for sure. It's just being released yesterday. You want to learn all about it? This is Tech for Senior Live. I'm Ron Brown. It is February the 20th. We're here to talk about all the tech news of the week, including the new Apple 16e. The SE is out. The 16e is in. So you want to learn all about it. This is a great phone and one that maybe you should consider. And we're going to talk all about it today. And we have, of course, our expert panel today. These are the knowledgeable people who have been with us for many, many years. And of course, you're probably wondering, who are these crazy people? And these are, well, we are a bunch of seniors that like technology and we like to talk and talk. But we got our origins from our Monday show, which of course is coming up next month to season 6. So we'll be doing it for 6 years. And this is going to be a great season. So if you haven't dropped by and had a chat with us and participated in our Monday show, we invite you to do so. If you're listening to this show, that we would sure appreciate it if you put in the chat where you're calling from, where you are, what's happening, any questions you have, because we have no idea who's out there. And the only way we know who you are or what's happening out there is if you put something in the chat. Oh, by the way, you could do a little like and subscribe as well. That's always helpful. but we're sure be great if you could put something in there, because unlike the Monday show, which of course is a Zoom meeting, this is broadcast out and we actually can't see you. So you don't have to don't worry what you're wearing because we can't see you, but we can hear you sometimes. No, we can't hear you. No, it's just in the chat, right? We can't even hear you. So you can be playing music and listening and we won't even know. So there you go. Anyway, we are here and we're going to have a great show for you. We do appreciate you coming. We appreciate you spending an hour with us. We appreciate your time is valuable, and we hope to provide some meaningful broadcasting for you today. Let me introduce our group today. And of course, my partner of the Monday show, the man who has a brand new camera and is a center cam. You got your new center cam on there.
Center cam version 2.
version 2. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm real pleased with it. It's a lot thinner on the screen, so I can see things better.
Right.
And it actually has a little light on it so I know that it's on. And it has a microphone that's pretty good. I'm not using the microphone. I'm using the Yeti that I have. But I do have one favor for all of the people who are watching. If any of you have Instagram, we're trying to broadcast on Instagram, and both Bob and I have tried, and we're not seeing it. And Ron is. So if anyone has tried it, please let us know.
And then, of course, Bob, how are you doing? You're in a communication void right now. You're having Comcast problems.
Yeah, no, Comcast is having the problems,
Not
and
you.
I have to suffer through them.
Okay, sorry. We have to rework that then. All right, okay. Is you're not bad though? I mean, you haven't been locking up or anything. So
well,
far.
I had no problems on the ship, so I'm still as fast as I was on the ship, but just not what I'm paying for. You know, I'm paying $100 and something a month, and I'm getting $15 worth of service.
Sounds like you should get a refund.
Yeah, how about that? It's exactly what I told them.
All right. And of course, from Pine, Arizona, we have Ray Baxter here. Ray, of course, is a steady guy. He has no internet problems, is always here. And Ray, how's your week going? Everything going good?
Everything's going good. Getting ready for a presentation through the APCUG Speakers Bureau on Saturday. We're going to have Sue Mueller talk about technology's impact on genealogy. And
really?
I'm combining two clubs. I'm combining my local computer club, and I'm combining the genealogy organization that I belong to. So we're going to have a joint meeting because I think the topic is applicable to both. So I'm anxious to see how that works out. So I tested, talking about internet speeds, I tested the internet speeds both on T-Mobile as well as what they're paying from Optimum, and where they are located right in the heart of Payson. It's terrible. You know, less than 100 megabytes down and about 8 or 10 up. So I'm not sure why, but that should work. Hopefully we'll find out.
All right. Well, welcome everyone, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who are, before we get started, I just want to let's have a look here. No, that's not what I wanted. Where are we here?
That's our email.
No, yeah, this is where this is our link for if you want to follow along. We're going to be going through a lot of articles today, and these are all posted on our Facebook site. And if you want to follow along with us, sometimes these articles, when we're showing them, it's hard to see. They're tiny little postage stamp. So we try to make them as big as possible. Yeah. Use glasses or readers, but or you can just follow them along on the big screen with us as well as we go through there. And just remind everybody, we do post these on a daily basis. So if you want to follow along, as we post the articles. Some days are great. Sometimes there's lots of interesting news. Other times, not so much. This is only tech news that we talk about, and published tech news, and that's where we are today. All right. Is there anyone listening? Do we have any comments before we start on?
Yeah, actually, there are some people out there.
Ed says 26 degrees sunny in central New Jersey. Welcome, Ed. Jolyn, greetings from low country of South Carolina. Chilly 51 degrees. Welcome. Excellent. Yep. Mike Lehman, Moncton, New Brunswick, where it is sunny and -5 degrees. Jolyn, remember to click the thumbs up icon and subscribe. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 45 degrees with sun. Mike Saunders, 5 p.m. and overcast. Of course, Mike's from England, Chesham. Is it Chesham? Chesham, England, I think it is, Mike. And
When I first saw Mike's post, I looked at it close and I thought it said spam and overcast. And I'm saying, oh no, that's a 5 and overcast.
right, Mike's just before supper. Maybe Mike's sitting down for supper and just listening to us as he's having dinner. Anyway. Welcome, Mike. Great to see you again. Jolin says, I love my original center cam. We'll have to look at the 2 perhaps. Well, there you go, Jolin. You ask Hewie, he's got one. Ed Taylor Richards, 56 degrees, sunny, and Edie, 56 degrees, sunny in Prescott, Arizona. Murray Strom, high from Victoria, BC, mostly cloudy, 7 degrees. I thought I saw that as spam as well. Okay.
Yep.
There you go. All right. We got all the comments done. Welcome. And we are going to now move on to some of the articles that we are going to talk about. Well, the big news article, of course, this week, yesterday that occurred was, of course, the let me just get it up here. Was, of course, the iPhone SE has been replaced by the iPhone 16e. And this is a very interesting phone that Apple is just about to release, and it's going to be quite competitive. It's interesting how they're marketing this. It's going to be a more expensive. The SE was really sort of a low budget phone. I guess they're taking the new phone, the 16e, and they're moving it up a notch, and they're making it more sort of more upscale than that, and it's going to, of course, be more money. So we'll see how they're going to place this strategically. As, of course, next month we'll be reviewing the Pixel 9a that's going to be coming out, and now see how that's going to compare to this phone. They've made some pretty big changes in this phone. I think you'll find them interesting. Now, I have a lot of different slides here on the. You'll see it. Excuse me, just a sec. You will see that there's I've got a bunch of different slides on this we're going to go through. I maybe just do 10 quick slides on it, and then we'll stop and have a look, and then we'll talk about the last 10. So if anyone wants to, as we go through, we can certainly stop if you have any comments. Okay, so the first is that they're not going to call it an SE. It's going to be the iPhone 16e.
So they dropped the S and they changed the E to a lowercase, and they charge more.
Yeah. Well, they're actually giving you a lot more. You will see if it's worthwhile or not. Again, their current phone is the 16, so this will be called the 16e, and I suppose they'll have a 17e and an 18e. I guess that's the idea. So so first of all, the displays changed. The old SE had a LED Retina display. The new one, the 16e, has an OLED display. So it's an OLED XDR display, much better display. The next thing is it's physically going to be bigger. So if you look here, you'll see that the old SE was 4.7 inches. We're now getting up to a larger display, which is 6.1 inches.
I did read in one of the articles that they're doing away with any of the small models, and they're all going to be 6 inches or bigger.
Yeah.
4.7 is pocket size. The other one is pocketbook size.
Pocketbook size. The resolution is going up. The resolution is almost doubling. You'll see that it's going from the resolution on the SE was 1300 by 750. This is going up to 2500 by 1170. So the resolution is going up considerably on the 16e. The screen, as I said, is going to OLED as well.
Of course, that means it's going to be smaller, but there's going to be more information on the screen.
Yep, and the refresh rate stays the same. That's going to be the same, which is something that the 9A that will be coming out next month will be going at 120 hertz, so it should be a bit smoother. So that's interesting. But they kept that.
Does it hurt more, or does it hurt more? Is that what they call it? Hurts?
Yes. Pixels per inch. Again, there's more pixels per inch, which you would expect. So it's because it's a better screen. The screen brightness is amazing. Now we talk about nits. You may or not know what a nit is, but it's a measurement of brightness. And most laptops that you look at would have 3 to 400. Rarely you get 500 nits. But on phones, of course, mostly being used outside, they need to be very bright. So this is going to actually be twice as bright. If you look at the iPhone SE, it had 625 nits. And if you look at the 16E, will be 1200 nits. It'll be twice as bright. But that's partly to do with their OLED display. Eh? So that's pretty interesting. The RAM. They are going to double the amount of RAM in the phone. So the RAM will go from 4 gigabytes to 8 gigabytes on the 16E. So they're going to double the RAM. And the storage will be, will go up, and they're going to have options on the storage. The internal storage on the SE was 64, 128, and 256. And again, no expansion. Both of them have no expansion slots. So on the 16E, it goes to 128, 250, and 512. So I guess the base will be 128. So are you guys excited yet?
I can't wait.
You can't wait. Let's see some excitement. But so anyway, so we are seeing. So again, they're making a substantial change in this phone. Now, what is it going to be run on? The Apple 15, the iPhone SE was running the Apple A5. They make their own chips, of course, and the Apple on the 16E will be having the A18 chip. Now, there are some differences between the chips, but they will. The 16E, which I'm coming up to another slide, will of course have AI, where the SE does not have AI. So it'll have a different processor in there, and you'll be able to run AI on it. Battery life. The iPhone SE gets up to 15 hours of battery life, and the iPhone 16E will have almost double that at 26 hours. And you'll see that it has a much larger battery. So it has a 3279 milliamp battery compared to a 2018. So much bigger. Charging's different as well. Both have wireless charging, but of course the 16E has 15 watts of charging compared to 7 watts of wireless charging on the SE. And you also have a higher capacity wired charging as 27 watts on the 16 and only 18 watts on the SE. Weight, a little bit heavier. It goes up to 167 grams, so it's a bit heavier, but I would probably expect that with a larger battery. You have speakers. You have 2 speakers. So the old SE had 1 speaker. This has 2 speakers. As far as cameras go, rear cameras, single lens. The SE had 12 megapixel, and this is going to come up to 48 megapixel, and it is wide angle lens and they're both single lenses on there. So they're substantially increased the camera. Artificial intelligence, AI, the SE did not, and the iPhone 16E will of course have Apple Intelligence. This is the selfie camera again is increased. The SE has 7, and this goes up to 12, and it's 4K. The price. So it's going to cost you a little bit more, just a little bit. Well, a couple of $100 more, a little bit more, but what's a couple of $100 when you're getting all all those things that they're putting in? So we will see how that works out. Then that's the base model, of course, will be $600. So it's a couple $100 more, but they put a lot more into that phone, and they're bringing up as a different marketing, I guess. So we'll see how that works out. I think it's going to be a really good phone for people. I think that a lot of what they did with the increased RAM, better display, bigger screen. I think it's a good, Apple smart people, they make good phones. I think it's a good one.
The one thing
$599 isn't really that expensive. Not when I compare it to what I paid for my Pixel 6.
Yeah, but the Pixel 6 is not a low budget. You'd have to be comparing it to the 6A to really be a fair comparison, Bob. That's a different comparison.
Good point. The one thing that wasn't mentioned in those slides is the fact that they are now using USB-C for charging instead of Lightning, and that I think is all based on the European Union.
Yeah,
it was okay. I missed it.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. So that was interesting, and I think we probably. Do we have any more comments, Hewie? Do we have?
Let's see where we left off.
Deb Shannon. Hello, Deb. Hi, everyone. 59 degrees in Dunedin, Florida. Boy, that's cool in Florida. What are you guys doing down there, Hewie?
I was just cooling off a little bit. And then right down the street from her is
Betty from Clearwater, Florida, just reached 60. You guys must be, you don't have a sweater on. I thought you might have a sweater
on. I don't have the heat on, but it's cool.
All right.
It's 54 here in the mountains.
Mike Saunders, what's the little white line in the middle of your screen, Ron?
I don't see it.
I don't see a white line.
I see it on mine because that's where my center cam is.
Sorry, Mike,
I don't think she's seeing that.
I don't see a little white line on my screen. I don't see that. But anyway, sorry, can't answer that one. All right. I think we should move on to the that took up a lot of time. I think we'll move on to the news articles now.
I think that's a good idea.
And we'll move on to that. And let's come up to, we will get Hewie going here. Let me see. I'll get up here.
Did you guys refresh?
Oh, gosh. You're not supposed to do that in the last minute. Yep.
I did, but you didn't get the first one. You scrolled right down.
That's the live. Oh, right there?
Oh, that's where we start.
Oh, okay.
This is a new edition. I wish my videos would get the kind of responses that I'm getting on this. And this is just simply asking it to please create today's senior daily joke. Thanks.
And you're doing that with what?
I'm doing that with ChatGPT task.
Oh.
And it creates the whole thing, the joke and the cartoon.
Okay. This is one I just posted this morning. This is Android Auto is set to receive dozens of new streaming games and apps. So you can play them while you're driving, I guess. I don't know.
No, they'll only be working when the car is stopped.
Oh, okay. Ray's the Android Auto expert. Did you read this, Ray? Did you see this one?
No, I didn't see that article, but I saw another one when I was doing my own articles. I'm having a hard time keeping up with Android Automotive. Do you know if this article, Ron, talked about if this is for both wireless and wired?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I know they're doing a lot of work on Android Auto. So anyway,
I'm going to read that later. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Okay.
This is you too, Ron.
Oh yeah, this was interesting. Google, this actually is cool. Google Play Store now adds quality warnings to help users choose apps, which I think is a great idea. So it's going to give you some hints, because I mean, a lot of times when we go to the Play Store, there's just so many apps, and I think it was last week I had the article that Google removed over, what was it, 2 million apps that had problems last year. Like, so they are trying to police this, and this is sort of not a rating system, but it's going to give you warnings. Now, the example they're giving here, I think I can see it. So in this app, they said users engaged with this app less frequently than other apps on Play. So they give some guidance on that. So anyway, so that's that new thing that's coming up, which I think is probably a good idea.
This is you, Ron.
This is the new, with the new update, with the new what is it? Is it Android 16 or the next version? Pixel phones to gain an important battery feature tipped by Android 16 beta, and it will show you all sorts of health of your battery. Now we also have it in our battery now. If you look at Android in the battery section, you can limit it to charging of 80%, which is it doesn't trigger that full cycle, which supposedly is going to keep your battery longer, playing longer. So it was an interesting. So that's coming up.
This was me, the 10 best-selling electric vehicles of 2024, and of the top 5, Tesla has 3 different models.
Well engineered.
Yep, but it lists all 10 and talks about each one. So it's a good article if you're thinking of getting an electric vehicle. You might want to take a look at it, or if you're just interested in them. Ron, this is you.
This was a very interesting article, and I really have never thought about this. And this was your monitor may be ruining your laptop's battery. And this was super interesting in that when your laptop is plugged into if you have an external monitor plugged in, then of course it's getting the power to generate those pixels on that extra screen. It's using a lot more power. And even when you shut close the lid on your laptop or put it into sleep, there's still energy being used to connect to that external monitor. And so I thought, okay, so what? I mean, I know we've got laptops and they've got external monitors. So what's the big deal? Well, the article is very interesting. Well done article. A lot of information about it, and it really means that there's a lot more strain on the battery, a lot more charging of the battery, and it's only good for so many cycles. So it puts an added big strain on your laptop battery, and theoretically it could shorten the life of the battery. And I thought, well, that's sort of interesting. So you may want to think about that. I guess it would be if you had an older laptop and you were thinking about, and your battery and you were thinking about plugging an extra monitor in, which I've done with all my laptops in the past, you might want to reconsider that, right? Or particularly if you're having one in which your battery is really not performing very well, then that could also be a problem. So it was an interesting article. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things in the past 5 years, but I don't think we've ever talked about that topic. So it was an interesting article. Did you guys heard that before? Have you guys heard that before?
I don't have that problem. It's plugged in.
Yeah, well, even if it's plugged in, it's still using more power on the battery. That's the point. I know that, Bob. I thought, well, that too, but no, it's still using more energy from the battery, which means the battery has to be powered up and cycled. So if you are having if you do have a monitor plug-in, it's a good article to read.
Yeah, and Ron, that article came from the BBC, and we must have been on the BBC at the same time because I found this article, and that's major breast cancer screening AI trial to begin. And what it's saying is nearly 700,000 women are to be recruited to take part in the National Health Service Artificial Intelligence or AI breast cancer screening trial across the UK. 5 different AI platforms will be tested across 30 sites from April to see if the technology can speed up diagnosis as well as free up radiologists. So they're starting to use AI more and more and doing some serious testing using it.
You also have the article on AI cracks superbug problem in 2 days that took scientists years.
Yep, that's coming up. That's coming up. We must be reading the same.
Up above it.
We must get the same newspaper, Hewie.
Yeah.
Finding AI tool. Did you? Is that?
This is a different.
No, that's where it's come down.
Same article, but a different. Same topic, but a different article.
Okay.
This is yours.
Yeah. This is finding AI tools on Microsoft Store just got a lot easier. So they're creating a special section for AI tools. I mean, you go to these stores, they're so huge, it's hard to find where you want to find stuff. So they're setting up a special AI tool section in the Microsoft Store. So if you are heading over there, then it's just got a lot easier for you to find what you're looking for.
You've been using mostly online AI tools. Bob, are you using any of the where you got to download the program and run it locally?
I run them as progressive web apps most of the time. So that I don't have to go to the website. I just have an icon in my system.
Well, but in essence, you're really going to the website. You're not running it on your machine.
Well, I have some installed on the machine itself, and the others I have running as apps, not as a tab in a browser. So the browser never gets started.
So this is an absolute great article. I mean, you guys, this is good. Actually, I think it's going to be a topic of another video I'm going to make. This is great. So as a new car owner, I've found the perfect use for Notebook LM. And this is really good. So, all right. So I bought a new Toyota last year, the electric vehicle, and it came with a instruction manual that is 1,200 pages long. Right now, not only is it 1,200 pages long, but it's really hard to figure out what's in it and how to index it. The indexing is weird, and if the 1 or 2 times that I've had problems figuring out how things work in the car, it's just not possible to figure it out in that stupid manual. So I just go into the dealership and they tell me how to do it. Or often I'll watch a video. But they have free popcorn at the dealership. So I usually go by the dealership because they have free popcorn. But otherwise, I'd watch a YouTube video on it. Anyway, so what this guy did is you can get all these manuals online, right? You can get them as a PDF. So what he did is he downloaded the PDF and added them into Notebook LM. Now, if you haven't used Notebook LM, Bob's used it a lot. Hewie's used it. I've used a little bit. But one of the things you can do is you can add articles or PDF files. You can add information into Notebook LM, and it will search it, index it, and you can ask it, and it just takes that information and makes it very, very, I guess like a chat bot. You can ask it questions, it'll figure it out, and it searches it really well. So he added, the guy that wrote this put his large instruction manual into the Notebook LM, as well as all the servicing information, all the stuff about his car. He just added that all into Notebook LM. And then if he said something like, how do you turn the dash lights off in the daytime? And he just has to ask Notebook LM, and it goes and it figures all that out and answers him right away. I thought, what a brilliant solution to this. And if you've used Notebook LM, you'll know how this works. But it's a great opportunity for a practical thing that you can use AI for.
Ron, I
Yeah,
thought
I
all new cars had the owner's manual as part of the internal screen. That's been around for a couple of years now. Yours doesn't have it on your screen?
Nope. Doesn't.
I'm surprised.
I have Gemini Live on my phone. And while I was sitting in the car, we had to reset the clock. I don't remember how to do that. I simply turned on Gemini Live and I said, hey, this is the car I've got. How do I reset my clock? And it just walked me through it step by step.
Yeah,
But this fellow also cross-indexed like his servicing records and stuff that's being done. All the stuff to do with his car, he enters into Notebook LM, and it's there. Then as a repository, and it's cross-referenced. you might say, well, I don't know if he did this. He didn't use this as an example, but you might say, at my last 6 month checkup, compare what was done to the car as to what the servicing records and the manual says, and is everything up to date. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that you could do that would make this that makes this so cool. And you could do it not just with car stuff, but you could do it with all sorts of stuff. But I thought, what a neat idea.
Yeah, Notebook LM, you can put up to 50 documents, and it doesn't care if they're huge documents.
That's
So
right.
Yep.
And then it will search and blend all the information together for an answer.
Very good.
Okay, this is Ray's.
Okay, up until now, Google Gemini has been part of the main Google app on iOS devices, but now Google is pulling its AI assistant Gemini from the app, so it wants to encourage users to download the standalone Gemini app instead. The thought is this will allow Google to more directly compete with the other AI chatbots. So if an iOS customer tries to access Gemini through the main Google app, they'll see a full screen message that says Gemini now has its own app and links to the App Store download. And this will Microsoft.
Ray, this is yours as well.
Okay, this is the one for critical thinking. Yes. No, so using generative AI at work may impact the critical thinking skills of employees. And that's according to Microsoft. This was based on a 319 knowledge workers studying the impact of generative AI at work. And it's raising concerns about the use of technology means for our brains. So I have encouraged, my computer club users to use Copilot and Gemini in place of a standard Google search, but never thought about how this affects people in a critical work environment. The question is, what will the long-term effect be?
Yeah, I've seen several articles on that where they do believe that, especially for seniors, that if they're using a lot of AI, they may not be using their mind as much as they should. And as we know, that's why a lot of us are here, is because it does help us. And that's why we're here at our age, because it helps us and our minds work. Right. Well, if AI is doing that thinking for us, is it going to affect it and be a negative on us as opposed to being a positive?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what future studies show. Okay, so this article makes the point that despite a decline in 4K, 4K Blu-ray is still the best when it comes to quality. And the overall streaming revenue from the most popular streaming services is 7 times larger than what's happening at the theatrical box office these days in the US. But the article confirms what I've been saying for years, is that with a streaming service, you don't own the movies, but are renting them. And what often happens is a favorite movie will migrate from one streaming service to another. That's why all my favorite movies have been copied to my Plex server, and I can watch them whenever I like, as often as I like.
And Ray, this is also yours.
Okay, who's ever heard of Amazon Chime? I never heard of it, but it's to be. It's actually now coming to an end. So this is
That's probably why.
This is a communication service. Was a competitor, believe it or not, to Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and that according to Amazon, it lets you meet, chat, and place business calls inside and outside of your organization, all using a single application. All I can say is, so long, I hardly knew you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of it, right?
I never did either, but it's leaving.
Hold on. I do have a Chime because they make the Miss A devices, particularly my Ring doorbell. One of the options you can get a Chime, which you plug in, and it acts. It gives you noise if someone comes up to the door. It makes a sound that someone's at your front door, and that's called a Chime.
Yeah, this is different.
Yeah,
they use it. No sound here.
Nope.
Okay, the next one is mine, and you may have heard, and when it first came out, everybody was talking about the Humane, and that was the thing that you would pin on yourself, and you could look at your hand and see the screen and so on. Everybody was all agog about it until it came out, and then the reviews were terrible. It originally was somewhere just under $1 billion company, or what they estimated it was worth, and they're shutting it down. The Humane themselves will stop working this month, and HP bought it for 116 million instead of a billion. And what they're getting is the two people who were running it, a few other engineers, and it does have its own operating system, so they're going to be able to use that operating system. So they're getting some benefits out of it. They're not going to actually bring out the Humane again. They're going to use the technology for other things. But HP has it now. And next, Bob, this was yours?
Yeah, next, you have a choice. You can either listen to it as a podcast, or you can watch the video on Fast Food Equals Slow Death, the truth behind what you eat.
I figure I'm going to die anyway.
Yeah. Take a look at it or listen to it.
Oh, this is another picture of it. Okay. All right, this is from me again.
The second one is a video. The first one is a podcast.
Okay, get Windows on Linux in 10 minutes with these two commands. So I know we've got a lot of Linux viewers that watch the Monday show, or they're part of the Monday show and watch here, and you might want to take a look at this article, and you're able to run Windows programs. So if there's a particular utility or program that you need to have, and it runs on Windows but doesn't run on Linux, you're going to be able to do it very quickly and easily with these two commands built into Linux. And this article is no, Windows 11 isn't dropping support for more Intel CPUs. If you remember, I think it was last Thursday, or maybe it was Monday, we talked about the fact that there's a new list, or maybe it was on the WinSig, but either way, there was a whole list of Intel chips that weren't going to work with the Windows 11, and this article goes into deeper explanation of what they're actually meaning, and that means it was not for the end user, it was for the manufacturers, and what chips not to use if they weren't going to promote it, and so on. So it's not going to stop working for the people that have those chips. It's not going to be good for future updates.
Hewie, I think this is also important time to look at since we're talking about Intel. Remember, if you think back, most of us have grown up with an i3, an i5, or an i7, and Hewie's fortunate enough to have an i9, right? So we've grown up with Intel, and we always think this is great. But of course, Intel missed the boat with mobile technology. So they really didn't get into the mobile, which was a huge problem for them. They then missed the GPU, the graphical processing unit, and they missed the NPU. And so the whole they miss. So the whole issue now is the modern the AMDs and the Ryzens and the Snapdragon chips that are out now are all modern chips that we're going to be looking at. So when they're going to this is a year in which hardware it cycles every 5 years. This is a big year, big year for computer sales. This is the last year we had like this was about 5 years ago when the pandemic just came in. And this is going to be there's going to be a massive number of sales of PCs, also with the Windows 11 thing, right? And so if you look at Dell's site, like I looked last night at Dell's site, and they have no i9 processors unless you want to spend in their gaming machine up to $6,000 for one. They have very few, nothing left. There's no i9s. There was a huge problem with i9, and Hewie was unfortunate enough to be the recipient of that, and it was a very painful experience. But we're going to be seeing all different chips now, and will they continue? Intel's mostly now producing chips for online historical support for mainframes and other types of, which is really the value, not in the new chips coming up. So as we go to buy these new machines this coming year, it's all going to be different, right?
I'm not burying Intel yet. I think they're going to be a survivor. Yep. There's a lot of interest in their new Core Ultra series chips for the mobile devices, and they've refreshed the Arrow Lake desktop chips with an NPU. So don't count them out yet.
We'll see.
And this is a beginner's guide to Chrome OS, tips for new users. I thought this would be one to pass on, that if you're using a Chromebook, this is something that you want to download and keep and put into Notebook LM and take a look and ask it questions.
And Jolyn commented on it that this will help her greatly in her Chromebook workshops at the Hilton Head Island Computer Club.
Absolutely. And Ron, this is you.
Yes, this is all the US states where you can add IDs to your Google Wallet. So if you are interested in adding some of your driver's license and so this lists the states that now allow you to do that. So I thought it was an interesting article.
Okay, Bob, this was another joke that you created.
I didn't.
Well, I know.
Did. I just made up the prompt.
Yep. And this.
The nice thing is, if you looked at the stats, this has 81 views. How come my videos don't get that?
Hewie, we probably should look at any more comments that have come in. We're in the last 15 minutes.
Okay, let's go back and see. I got to page up a little bit because we got quite a few.
Yep.
Let's see, where do we leave off? Right here, I think.
Brian, that was what was the price of the SC256 to compare with? I don't have that on the slides. That you'd have to look that up. I can't compare it. I just didn't compare the 256.
Yes, the old price was $429, and the new price is $599.
But is that what the 256?
Yeah.
But wasn't that 128? Is it the same?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. Whether I don't know. I thought it was the base model, but
he was talking about the difference in the RAM, and I'm not sure.
It doubled the base. The base is now 128. The base on the older one was 64.
Yeah, so there's a difference. So you'll have to look that up, Brian. Sorry, I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. But it's there. You just look at the site. The prices are published. Murray says, I have an Epson EcoTank printer that got 2 of the print heads plugged.
Murray, don't feel bad. I also have the same printer that uses the ink instead of cartridges. And it's now a very nicely working black and white printer.
Murray, one of the problems is that and this has been a long-standing problem with the EcoTank, is unless you use it a lot and keep those ink going through, it's not really made for printing just a few pages a month. So you need to put some volume through to keep the ink going.
And like any printer, don't shut it off.
Correct.
Leave it on, because they all cycle
Right.
sometime during the night at a set time, and that helps. If you turn it off every day, if you're like on a power strip and that power strip's got a power button, and you turn that off and it turns everything off, including your printer, you shouldn't do that. Just leave
Mine
the
is
printer
running
on.
constantly. I still have the
Yep.
problem. But to be fair, my printer is now, I think, 5 years old. So
Mine's well over 10, but it's not an EcoTank. It's a brother.
Yep.
Murray, they had just give Murray a tip. Murray, at Costco, they had some super good prices on the EcoTank printers. There were some great deals at Costco last week. So anyway, just thought I'd give you let you know about that. Mike says, share your screen again. Mike says, share your screen again when you can.
I think that was because of the line in yours. I don't think he's talking about the line in mine, but the line in mine is I have a folding background, and
Right.
where the folds are, there's light coming through. I don't think that's what he was talking about.
And he may also have been talking about the images you used. If they were smaller than the actual screen size, there would have been a line. But I didn't see anything.
So Murray says it took a month, but the local shop finally fixed it for $50 US. I don't know that I would spend $50 fixing an old printer, but anyway, go ahead. Good for you, Murray. Sally Ann, hi from cool Kirkland. Warming up, Sally Ann. It's really nice up here today, so it's warming up. Murray says worth it, as replacement is $4.29 Canadian. Ink refill is $20 Canadian for all tanks. Lasts me for several years. Gary says half of the talks on communication ethics was about. Gary says half of the talks on communication ethics, is that a conference, was about AI? That must be a conference he went to.
Or the one there was I think one on TV, international.
Brian says, think the 256 gigabyte SE model sold for $579. So the new 16E for $590 with AI bigger screen, better battery life, etc., is a great deal for $20. Yeah, I think so. It is going to be more money for people who maybe are on a tight budget. But like we were talking earlier, a Motorola phone would probably be a better choice. Gary says half of Intel is having big business problems. How about the other half? Is this what Windows 11 is trying to save? Big topic. Not sure. Let's is that it?
Yep, we're back to Bob. There's no picture with this. But,
no, because this is strictly information. Here are the top 5 AI-related events from the last 24 hours. Again, that's a task assigned to ChatGPT that I made up, and it gives me the information if there is information. And for this day, there was also the top security incidents from the last 24 hours.
Okay, and this is.
And I just received the Grok 3, so I asked it the question. You'll see it here. If you look at the information, it shows you why Grok 3 is much better than its predecessor.
Let's go back. Bob, there's a lot of people that don't know what Grok 3 is. Can you just explain? I think it's a good time to explain what Grok 3 is, because many people here wouldn't understand what it is.
Grok is X's AI, which is totally free. And I stress that again, it is totally free. No $20 a month because it's open source. When you go to X, one of the things you can do in there is to bring up Grok. And that has now just been updated to version 3. And it has some pretty high rankings as far as its comparison to ChatGPT or any of the others, Gemini.
Yeah, all of them are coming up with new models, and one is a little bit better than the last, and then if they keep working up, so they're all gaining in what they do and how they do it and how well they do it, and trying to keep up with it is a real bear.
Bob, can you do you have to access Grok through X, or is it?
Yes.
Or,
Correct.
so
well, yeah, I installed it as a progressive web app, but it still winds up opening X, and then you go into Grok itself.
So you
it's one of the menu choices in X.
Correct.
In X. So you can't go to Grok on the web.
No, you cannot. It's a part of X.
So if you want to use Grok, then you need to have signed up for Twitter, right? Or X.
Yeah, but I don't have a paid account. So.
No, it's free.
Yep.
I'm not paying for it.
Yeah. OpenAI's ChatGPT-5 is coming. The future of AI-powered problem solving. And the other thing that with the OpenAI GPT-5, which will probably be a couple of months down the road, it's going to have 4.5 before that. But once they hit 5, instead of having 3.0 and 4.0 and 3.5 and 4, and they're all, it's going to be 1, and it'll decide which it's going to use automatically. So by the time it hits 5, all of the other versions will be wrapped up as one version. And
yeah, right now you have to be careful, because if you're using 4.0 and any of the advanced ones, it can't create images. You have to go back down to 4.0 in ChatGPT if you want to see an image created.
That's, because that is a bit crazy. I know I'm in ChatGPT. I think, all right, which one do I use?
Yeah, that's the problem. And they realize that. And that's why once they hit GPT-5, it's going to be able to decide which is the best for you.
Good idea.
And it'll just use it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And this was interesting. Meta confirms it's building its own subsea cable. And the article, this is not what this picture is, but, well, let's see. This is where it's going to go. And it's actually going to be below, it's going to be in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be their own. It's not going to be somebody else's.
But Hewie, this is really interesting. This cable is going to span 5 major continents. This is a multi-billion-dollar project that is going to connect the world with a subsea cable. So, I mean, there's a significant investment in this. I guess my concern really with this is, I mean, obviously I don't know the answer, but I thought the future would be satellite. I thought, it's easier to run things around through up top, and particularly, Hewie, after that demonstration last Monday, when you had the picture of all the satellites. Oh my gosh,
debris, and the debris.
All the debris up there above us, and all the different satellites that in the communication. You would have thought that it would just work better with satellites, which we have up there, rather than putting a new cable in. I just think that's weird. Anyway,
I still think that fiber is probably faster than communicating through.
And I wonder how long this is going to take. Did it say how long it's going to take to build?
I don't know.
Because it's anyway. Interesting, but it's a big. Did you get the impression, Hewie, they were going to sell the services, or was this just for Facebook and Facebook stuff, or is this going to be a commercial application as well?
They really didn't say.
Interesting.
And Meta is, which is of course the Facebook people, same people, just scheduled a generative AI conference called LlamaCon for April 29th. So something else for us to watch for. And this was that's what the Humane AI pin, and it's going to stop working, as I said, in 10 days, and HP just bought them out. I think this was the last one I posted, is how to safely use Windows 10 past the end of support. So if you're thinking of keeping your Windows 10 after October, you might want to read this article. Let's see.
I'm just looking down quickly to see if there's anything, because I know we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
Down here and seeing if there's anything quickly that's interesting.
There's a phone
No,
again.
I think we should call it. That's it's about top of the hour. We've got about a minute left. Then Hewie, let's just we'll just
see some final messages.
No.
Yeah, why don't you go over those, and we'll just remove them because we're sort of at the end now.
No further messages.
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
No.
We're all done.
Yep.
There you go. Well,
Yep.
Another another day. I was going to say another day, another dollar, but hold on, we don't get paid, right? There is no dollars. I can't say
Very
that,
good
right?
point, Ron. Very good.
Jolyn says, thanks, gentlemen. I enjoyed it. Yeah, well, thanks, John. We enjoyed doing it. It goes so fast. I mean, the hour goes zipping by, and away we go. Jolyn, I have a video coming out. I'm going to have it ready for Monday, and it's going to be on Chromebooks as a good alternative for your Windows, the Windows 11 issue on October of this year, as people are looking for change. You might want to watch it. It's going to be, I'm going to show it on Monday. So
Windows 10 issue.
Windows 10, yeah, Windows 10. So that will be that'll be on our Monday show. So, any other comments, you guys, or anything like that?
Nope.
Nothing. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for coming. I want to thank all our listeners for coming, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget we have our Monday show this coming Monday. We'll be here.
Very good.
Very good.
Always easy to remember what it is.
I got the Thursday show and the Monday show. There you go. It's easy, Thursday.
You're on a roll,
One is on Monday and one is on Thursday.
There you go. It's easy to remember, right?
And if you go to YouTube, it's any day you want.
Yeah, that's right. It's all there. It's right on YouTube. So there you go. And otherwise, thank you, Hewie, for coming today. Thanks, Bob. Thank Ray. Thank you for being here today. It's always a blast, and appreciate all the articles you post and all the work you put into the show. So we will talk soon, and have a great week. Lots of fun things. Go buy an Apple phone. It should be fun. No, don't do that, because the Pixel 9a is coming out next month. You got to watch that. But don't even do that, because Pixel 10 is coming out in 3 months' time. So
yeah, and of course there'll be a new Samsung.
No, not till next year. Not till next year. They've already got their 25 out. So we got lots more to review, and there's going to be exciting times this year for phones. Anyway, we'll talk soon, and talk to everyone next week. We'll be back same time, same place.
Bye all.
All righty.